Hey, I'm William Flanagan, the founder of Audienti. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to give you an overview of how Audienti can help your marketing become dramatically more effective. I've just signed into Audienti, and since I've already got a few projects set up, my dashboard lists some of the most recent mentions that we found in these projects. But this isn't really where the magic happens. We'll see these mentions in a bit. Let's check out a project. You can have multiple projects in your account, and for each project, you have a group of keywords. For this example, let's jump into the vegans project. For reference, this project has one keyword in it, the keyword vegan pizza. So immediately when I open the project, I'm dropped into the Discover section of Audienti. Discover provides a regularly updating list of fresh, relevant prospects, either people or companies that are talking about your project's keywords. This information comes from public sources and doesn't use any non-public data or API sources. It's purely driven from conversations happening online in public, and it doesn't require any cookies. In this case, we have Shani, who looks like she's in London, and she has one mention that's in the project. For Shani, we have metrics like followers and following. We don't always have these, but when we do, we include them. We show the ways to contact Shani that we found online, and we list them here. They're also linked, so they're easy to click and immediately use. I'm using a custom version of Ferdy. When we click on LinkedIn, you can see that it connects directly to my LinkedIn account and allows me to interact with LinkedIn. You can have different groups of accounts in workspaces, and then you can easily switch between them, which makes it great and super simple if you're working with multiple different brands or different clients. Back in the app, we'll show up to the most 3 recent mentions that this individual prospect has. At the bottom, we can click No Match and we'll never see this prospect again. If we don't click No Match and we just click Next, the next time they have a mention that's relevant to our project, they'll pop back up in the Discover section. We can also add them to a list. We'll talk about lists in more detail in a minute, but essentially a list is a manual collection of either mentions or prospects. To move through the list of prospects that Audienti has found, simply click the arrow. So now we're on to the second one. This is Shelly. It looks like she's with Cookies and Cups. Again, similar metrics here, ways to connect. And I think this one's a good place to show what we call enrichment. When Audienti finds a mention like this Pinterest pin, not only do we have the Pinterest profile for the individual, but also any other public profiles we can find and associate with the prospect. We've got a publisher profile, which is basically her website, her Pinterest profile, her Instagram profile, Facebook profile, even Bloglovin and email. With this data, you can quickly reach out to her any number of ways and start a dialogue about this pin, about Cookies and Cups, and even, how you might be able to work together. Moving on, Audienti doesn't only have people, but we also have companies in the prospect section. So that's Discover. If you don't want to work in Discover mode and you want to work in a little more of a listy kind of a way, you can click on the Prospects button and see the same prospects produced in a list form. Alternatively, if you want to look at mentions, you can do that too by clicking on the Mentions button. Here, you can see at the top of the mention, we show a summary for the prospect. And then there's the mention data below. Mentions can be added to lists too, just like prospects can. So as you can see, if you're looking to actively engage the market talking about a topic, Audienti has you pretty well covered. But what about something deeper and more automatic? We do this with segments. Let's say you want to build a list of folks who are executives, but also interested in vegan food. This is exactly what segments are for, to create dynamic lists of prospects that are perfect for micro-targeting. Let's build one quickly. Let's say that I'm looking for people that have email addresses. I can add a filter and search for a prospect where the identifier has an email profile. This is what we call a filter. Let's say I'm going to add another filter, and in this filter, I'm going to search any of the prospect profiles that we have for a prospect and look for the terms CEO or VP or director. Now all I have to do is give it a name and save it. Now any prospects that we identify through an active mention that meet this criteria would automatically be added to this segment. So what can I do with this data? Well, lots of stuff. You can export the lists and segments created into a CSV. You can add a webhook that can be called anytime that there's a new mention or prospect that gets added to a list or segment. That way you can be alerted in tools like Slack. Or you can even use our API and no-code integrations with Zapier and Integromat to take real-time data from Audienti and map it into your CRM system, ad servers, or other platforms. So Audienti can be the very top of the funnel, listening for opportunities for you, and dynamically taking the data, manipulating it, and putting it where you need it to be. Lastly, we aggregate all this data from prospects and mentions, and we provide real-time analytics. It's designed to give you a bird's eye view of your project so you can see what's trending, help you develop insights, and make your marketing efforts more efficient. So let's summarize. Discover gives you instant and immediate access to a prospect, including contact information, so you can reach out to them and engage about a particular topic. Segments and lists allow you to parse and filter either manually or dynamically, and then with no-code tools like Integromat and Zapier, you can push automatically to third-party systems. And analytics gives you a strategic view of the data so that you can develop deeper insights and build a better understanding of your market. So if this is interesting to you, please feel free to sign up for a 14-day trial. One of my team is also happy to walk you through the platform and discuss any questions you might have. Thank you and have a great day.